What if your AI could give you back hours every week before you ever hire your first salesperson? For many business owners, sales still sits on the CEO plate. The follow up, prep, outreach, proposals, and pipeline management all compete for that time that you should be spent leading your business. So, in this episode of Profit with a Plan, we're going to be talking about how solo CEO salespeople can use AI to save time now, know when they're ready to hire their first salesperson, and to avoid costly hiring and compensation mistakes. So, if sales is running through you, this conversation will help you make the next move smarter. Hey, entrepreneurs, are you working too hard for too little profit? Well, welcome to Profit with a Plan podcast, where we help business owners grow smarter, increase profitability, and build a company that's worth more, whether you plan to keep it or sell it. I'm Marcia, Riner, business growth strategist and profit booster behind Infinite Profit. Each week, I bring practical strategies, expert insights, and real-world steps to help you grow revenue, improve your margin, and build a stronger business. Today's episode is brought to you by Infinite Profit, where strategy turns into profitable growth. But before we jump in, I have something special for you. If revenue has plateaued or your marketing is just not producing the return it should, please go check out and get the free Profit Booster Growth Map. In just a couple of minutes, it'll help you identify where you can bring in more qualified clients and where profit leaks may be costing you money. So go get yours after the show, obviously, at profitbooster.biz. And by the way, there's no sales call required. Now, let's get into today's conversation. My guest today is Greg Grand. He is the founder of the AI Sales Leader, where he helps sales leaders and business owners use AI in practical, measurable ways inside the sales process. He brings more than 30 years of enterprise sales experience, leadership experience, including building major accounts like Google and Apple during his time at Celestia. He also spent 8 years running G Squared Advisors as a fractional CRO, helping companies improve sales strategy, leadership, and revenue performance. Greg has built the first AI certification suite specifically designed for sales leaders, and now he speaks to Visted CEO groups about how AI is really doing this inside sales team. So, Greg, welcome to Profit with a Plan podcast. I'm excited to have you on here, and I just love this topic.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me on, Marcia.
Absolutely. Okay, so how did you get into sales, right? Were you selling lemonade at the corner when you were 3? I mean, how did you get here?
Oh, boy, this is the age thing. Newspapers, door to door is actually how I started. I was pretty young, 13, 14 years old, something like that. Never thought I would end up, as a salesperson. It seemed kind of natural to me. I don't know why. Anyway, so then I got distracted and went to school and got a degree in electrical engineering and thought I was going to be an engineer. And then when I went out interviewing for engineering jobs, they wanted to put me into technical sales roles and, finally went over to the dark side. And then the story goes on and on from there, but it wasn't planned. I thought I was going to be a design engineer was the initial plan on the book, but life takes you in different paths sometimes, right?
And that's the beauty of it, right? I mean, yeah. I got into financial services and was always, every job I had money in it. And, but what I really truly loved was the growth and the marketing of the company. So I evolved after many failed attempts at trying to do what the traditional folks wanted you to do. So, it's just, we're pulled and we have to go that way, which is why, I mean, we've spent a couple hours now talking about different AI strategies and how they help out businesses. So I love that you've put this into sales. So tell me a little bit about how you're doing that.
Yeah. So I think, for myself being an engineer, I've always been close to technology and enjoyed it, and I think for me, I haven't been as excited about technology in 30 years, because it's just, it's amazing right now. So in being a fractional CRO and working with many sales teams over the years, especially in the past couple of years, me being so focused on AI, I realized there's just a huge gap out there. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of tools. There's a lot of disconnected information, but there isn't a cohesive way to really look soup to nuts from a consultative salesperson or leader or a CEO trying to get from, point A to point B in one thing. So there's sales training programs, there's sales coaching programs. Maybe they have a bolt on. So I said, this doesn't exist in the marketplace. Wouldn't it be great if there was a program that was AI forward for consultative sales? Not just here's consultative sales, here's the AI role play tool, but hey, here's how you build your ICP. Here's how you build your prospecting. Here's how you do your research step by step in a very methodical, process oriented fashion. So it didn't exist. So I built it.
I love it. And you mentioned something that is incredibly important to differentiate. Everything out there is bolted on. Everything out there is this little add-on thing that doesn't connect or talk or work through or figure out what everything else is doing with you. So it's amazing that you kind of built it as a through piece that really connects everything together. So I love that idea.
That's one of the biggest issues, right? Is because you have, and even myself, I was guilty. So I think that this, and this would be good for your listeners that are new to it. I spent a year and a half chasing the shiny nickel, right? Oh, I got this email. This one's got to do this one. And I ended up saying, well, I want to check this out, but I don't have time to check it out right now. And I would be embarrassed to show you the folder, but I had a folder on my desktop of about 150, 200 different website links that I was going to eventually get to. And then I'd do a trial on this one and 5 minutes, right? That's not the way to do it. The way to do it that I found is everything you're doing throughout your day, just think, is there a way AI could help me with this? Look at the problem, and can AI help as a force multiplier to get you to the solution versus trying to buy a tool that will solve a specific problem. Back up.
Yeah. Wow.
That was a big help for me.
Amazing help. And so when we're looking at how AI can help you in the sales process, give us some ideas of how the AI is actually helping you save time and actually dialing in your process.
Oh gosh, there's so many ways. I think the big ones that jump out to me in particular are client research, right? So if you look at a typical salesperson, what I've heard for years as well, I couldn't have those calls because I spent 4 hours last week doing research. So I was on a call, I was doing a training this morning, and the guy said, I have a call later. I said, okay, I want you to put this prompt in and let's keep talking. And 5 minutes later, he had a dossier on the company, the decision makers, what their backgrounds were, new press releases, trigger events, 3 cold email attempts in a script, and discovery questions in 5 minutes. Now think about how long that would take to manually even think out, no less document it and get it done. That's a day of work. So
easy,
if I
4 or
look
5 hours, yeah.
Sure. So that's just research. Then there's the prep for the meetings, right? Then there's the follow-up from the meetings. Then there's managing your pipeline. If you're a leader, how do you do the one-on-ones? How do you get all the reports set up? How do you run all this kind of stuff? A lot of this stuff can now be automated. So there is the time-saving things, but there's also the force multiplier of how you can get it done. So this program, this has been years of work, but this years of work was in scattered documents in a Google Drive. So the first thing I did is I had Cowork organized 30 years of my life. And then I said, this is what I want to do. We built out the program. I talked to it. I use WhisperFlow. I don't type anymore.
I can't type anyways. It's all.
I know, right? I'm like a 2-finger dude. So 6 weeks later, Claude did 700 PowerPoint slides for me.
Wow.
So this was built in my head to complete this entire business from I'm going to do this finally to having it up and launched and selling it 6 weeks.
Wow. That's amazing.
The $40,000 in revenue after 6 weeks, right?
Yeah, the go-to-market opportunity for an idea is fantastic. But I love the fact that you are doing so a proper salesperson, when they're building a relationship, right? They're not just selling a widget here, buy my shit, right? They want to have that relationship with someone. They want to understand the problems that the company is having, the issues that they're having with their products that you can solve and come in. So that's where that research barrier just bogged everybody down. And what I've found when I've played a little bit in it, when I've made my proposals to prospective clients, is I said, okay, tell me where, now that we know all this information, tell me where the where the gap is that I could fill, right? So now he's guiding me. And I'm sure yours is like, light years ahead of my basic prompt, but so that he can guide me to get to the results that will help the client, the prospective client latch on to the idea that I could help.
Well, you brought something that's really important there, and I say this unfortunately too often. So let's face it, the reputation of a salesperson is generally not great. There's always the used car salesperson. And I hate to say this, but this is the fact of sales today. I'd say over 90% of salespeople are what I call show up and throw up salespeople.
Yep.
So they want to come in and they want to pitch a deck and they want to show you a PDF. And I'll tell any salesperson the best presentation is the one you never did. And I'm trying to teach salespeople how to, you use the doctor's office analogy all the time. Do you go to a doctor's office, shake his hand, tell him back hurts, he gives you pills and sends you out? No. He moves you around. He asks you a bunch of questions. That's the role of a consultative salesperson. So I can help. So for instance, when I was talking about before, I said to the guy, do you know the account? He goes, no. I said, well, why don't we go and ask AI what the top 3 pain points for somebody in this role, in this business might be, and what questions you could ask to uncover that. I don't even know if you could figure that out. Just brain power doing the research. This is the kind of, okay, that just saved me a half hour. Look at the salesperson we talked about before that just saved 8 hours of planning, right? So that's 32 hours a month. Annualize that. That's 400 hours of selling you got back by one freaking prompt.
That's insane. That's insane. So that's amazing. So it's going to give you the client information or the prospective client information and the angle you can use to be helpful to that client and make sure that they know I've done my research. I'm valuable. I understand you. I have the solution for you, right? You're solving all the Heismans that you get, all the blockers that you get when you go into a sales call, right? Oh, well, I can't do that. Or, oh, you don't know me, or we're different, and you're like, but I know you now. So
let's go to the next level, right? So you can set up that meeting and you can say, what are the pain points? What are the questions? What are the potential objections I could get?
Exactly.
And how am I going to counter those objections? And you can just go down
them before they even ask them, right?
Take it even to the next level, what we were talking about before gone here, you build an AI role play tool. You can create that meeting and role play it before you even walk into the room, take that transcript, review it and say, what did I do good? What did I could do better? And then you actually ran through the meeting and now you actually go into the real meeting and man, you are dialed. It's like you already had the meeting before.
So here's something that I'd love to throw out on the table. So in years past, you had salespeople, right? These are the people that really make business run. But now everybody needs to be a salesperson, whether you're in customer service or you're leading the crew or you're on the financial side, you're always selling, right? So everybody, not just the sales guy, right? And the shiny suit and, slick car and everything. He's not the only person that needs these skills, right?
Everybody, look, I would say that's life. Everybody, you're selling all the time, whatever you're doing in some capacity or not.
Your next date, you're selling, right?
That's right. Exactly. But yeah, I think that it's just expected now, right? Where there's that component.
So how does one, I always get, how do I say this? So I believe that knowledge gives somebody confidence. And I'm always a little uncomfortable with that cold sale, right? When I'm talking to someone, I'm fine. But that initial phone call out, hey, would you consider booking some time where I can show you what I can do for you? That has always been the ickiest thing for me, right? I'd rather spend 8 hours messing with my AI agents than actually picking up the phone and making the call. So do you have ways that AI could help give me the confidence to make that call?
You need an AI therapist, Marcia.
I do.
Well, I'll tell you though, it's interesting though, because I do that too, though. I do talk to AI about other things and things like that. So you can have that discussion, right? I got to make these cold calls. I don't know what I don't want to do. But I think that there's two different things, right? So my focus is process, strategy, technology kind of thing. I'm not like the Tony Robbins guy, and I think that's kind of the path.
Oh, no. I'm not talking mindset that I need someone to help me pick up the phone. But I've always found that when I feel comfortable, when I feel like I understand the situation, then my confidence steps up and then I can
Oh,
do
sure.
anything, right?
Yeah, totally. But that's having knowledge, and the AI will give you the knowledge to get that comfort and power. And I think that the other thing, of course, is you have to be disciplined. The first thing is you got to time block your prospecting. You have to do it. Whether you want to do it or not, look, prospecting is not fun, but you got to do it. And I think the other thing with, I don't like the idea of cold prospecting. Cold prospecting is tough. So I believe prospecting where it becomes effective is when you're following trigger events. So things that for your clients, if something happens, somebody gets promoted or gets a new job or goes somewhere, you have a reason to reach out. And I think providing value now too, like if I'm prospecting, it's pretty rare that I'm trying to sell or set it. That's the annoying salesperson. Like, I don't know you and you're going to sit and call me. Hey, I do a lot of stuff on LinkedIn. Hey, blah, blah, blah. I had this article. Thought you might be. I'm eventually going to ask them for a meeting. But like, especially if you're using LinkedIn, I'll tell you the quickest way for me to block you on LinkedIn as a CEO is ask me for a connection request and try and sell me something. I will block you. And I'll report you too.
That never happens to me.
Never.
Like at least 25 times a day. Oh my gosh. And it's so funny because you can see right through them. They make the profile connection, then I'm looking going, okay, what do they want to sell me? Right? That's the first question.
Have you gotten a hey first name before? I got a couple of those.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's great. That's great. But yeah, it's crazy how the sales process works. Or the current sales process that's not so good, that has had every one of us put up, 4-inch thick cement walls around us to protect us from the salesperson, when that's not how you do it. Hey, quick pause here. If you've ever wondered what your next smartest move should be to grow your business, well, I've built something for you. It's called the Profit Booster Growth Map. It takes only about 2 minutes. It's totally free, and it shows you exactly where you're leaving money on the table and what to fix first. Go grab it for free at profitbooster.biz/growth map. Then come right back to the episode. There's got to be a better way. And it sounds like you've kind of dialed it in to be able to showcase this. So tell us about your consultative sales process and how and why it works with AI.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of things as far as that process. So let's look at that. Let's just go down the road of the cold prospecting. So let's talk about what doesn't work anymore. What doesn't work anymore is sending out 1,000 emails a week to strangers.
Yes.
Especially if you're in a B2B environment. Maybe B2C, that still works. I don't know. That's not my space. So what you have to do now is you have to use not technology, but a technique called multi-threading. Multi-threading is you're using different channels to try and create familiarity and comfort with your prospect. So the old playbook 2000 says, okay, I'm going to build a 5-step sequence, which is just an automated, like a drip campaign thing. And I'm going to send them an email every 4 days and hopefully they reach out. Well, now chances are email's not even getting through. If it's getting through, it's going into spam or other, right? And if you even got through to the main box, you're going to be like, who the hell is this person? So that's only one touch. I only believe email is just maybe they see the main name. So when I talk about multi-threading, I'm talking about using all the technologies and platforms. So Monday, you are sending that email. And then Thursday, you are connecting with them on LinkedIn and maybe saying, hey, I saw we have 43 shared connections. Thought it'd be good to connect. We're in the same space. And you're going to walk away. And you're going to come back, and 6 days later, you're going to send them an email. Hopefully you get a response. And then you're going to go to LinkedIn, and then you're going to make a phone call, and then maybe you're going to send a handwritten card. So you can use AI to map this out. You say, hey, I want to build a multi-threaded is the tag word, a multi-threaded sequence to this person. Here's their business. Here's what they care about. I love if you have a discovery call or any kind of call. Like I just did this morning. I had a call with this guy I was talking about before. In between calls, I took the transcript, I put it into Claude, and he wanted to talk again today, so I knew he was really motivated. And I said, I don't have time to analyze this, but give me 5 questions I can ask him on the next call. Got done, popped it up, went in the call. I said, we talked a half hour ago. I seemed so smart. I didn't even know what the hell was in Claude, but I got through the meeting pretty well.
Wow.
So you can use it to build all the messaging out. Now, the caveat, of course, is don't let the AI write for you completely. But if I wanted to do that, I could say, I want you to build me a 10 or 12-step sequence, which is important because if you look at it statistically back 5 years ago, to reach out cold, the statistic was it would take about 5 to 6 touches to get somebody to actually lock in and respond if there was interest. It's like 12 now.
Oh, I think it's higher. I think it's
Could
up to
be.
17, 18
Oh,
now.
wow. Right. So
From
think
what I'm
about it.
hearing, it's really, really hard because we've got that 4-inch wall. Oh my goodness. There was just a crazy earthquake, and
Oh,
it's still rolling here in Las Vegas,
oh
which
my
is
gosh.
completely unusual.
Wow.
I
Wild.
thought my computer screens were going to fall off the desk.
Oh my
So sorry
gosh.
about that.
No,
Wow.
crazy.
Okay, hair on my arms are standing up. That
Yeah.
was crazy.
Wow.
So barring the fact that a truck just hit the building, I'm doing okay.
Good,
Um,
good.
yeah, so now that we have this 4-inch thick wall around us, I think that's what's extending it. So
Mm,
some of the things that I hear out there that are working really well in the sales process that I know that AI can help us get that information is what you've mentioned a couple times. Finding out a trigger event, right? Finding out
hmm.
something that has gone on. Hey, they just got in the newspaper, or their CEO was just recognized as something or other. And things like that. Sorry, my phone is now ringing because people are concerned. So yeah, isn't that a better way to warm up that introduction? And can't AI help you figure that out?
All day long. And that's the magic. Because now you have, okay, so I don't know you, and I just like, okay, I do business with companies that are $1 to $5 million and they're in the food and beverage space, like whatever. I think that's
Yeah,
your client profile, right? So,
right.
yeah, so you can use AI to ferret that stuff out, like you said. Now, for that, you need probably Sales Navigator, right? So that's the best tool for that. But okay, so I reach out to you. Hey, Marcia, I saw we have. I thought you looked. I saw your profile. You look really cool. I looked to connect with you. Or, hey, Marcia, I saw that blog you just did, and what you said about ABC really resonated because I have this client, ABC. Good to connect. Maybe we should talk sometime. I'm out. What leaves a better impression? Like it's a no-brainer, right?
Definitely a no-brainer.
And I'm not
Definitely a
selling. I'm not
no-brainer.
asking for the meeting on that. And then the
Right.
next one, I may just say, hey, I saw this article. I was thinking of you. And then when I get to that third or fifth one, I say, okay, obviously, I want to talk with you about something. So, but just don't rush. And I think that's the problem. You use Tuesday or Thursday at 1:00. No, throw that shit out. It doesn't work anymore.
Did it ever work? That's what
I
always
don't, I
got
don't
me.
think so.
It's somebody that never was in a successful sales situation that said that works when
Yeah.
you come in with the assumptive close of like, oh, does Tuesday or Thursday at 2 o'clock work for you?
It's icky.
It is icky.
So icky.
And that's where the consultative direction attracts me. And I'm one of value. Let me give value. Let me show you that I know how to solve problems through value. Let me give you some ideas that you can play with. And if you like them, then you're going to see, oh, maybe she's got more ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And ways that you can help. So
Yeah.
so I think that that's the power of sales in today's environment is that relationship, that connection, but then the value. What can you give me? What can I do for you to show you that I can actually perform, right?
Wait.
Because names, testimonials are, I can dial those up.
Yeah. No question about it.
I know, right? So yeah, so how do we so tell me a little bit more. I know that you've got this process and it's about sales, it's about consultative direction, it's about the way that we connect with the audience. It's some tools and everything that we can use, but we're using bolt-on AI, or now are we using things that are more interactive with my business and understand my business?
Oh, it's only that. So I'm not the system integrator. I can guide you and tell you different integrations. I've done them. I've worked with clients putting together. This is about, there's different programs, right? There's a leadership program and there's the actual sales programs, but they are all about having you learn to use AI for your business specifically to increase sales for you so you can beat your quota. Either your team's beating the quota or you personally are beating your quota. So for instance, let's look at the flagship project, which is the Certified AI Sales Leadership Program. So that's a 16-week program, 2 hours a week. And every sales leader or CEOs do this as well that have sales teams they're managing. You leave every week with 5 prompts. So over the 16 weeks of working with me, just alone that, you are going to leave the program with 80 prompts that I've tested and built and are battle tested and they work.
Wow.
Then we take those prompts and then we build them to your bit. So we did one this morning. The guy had a meeting with the COO in 20 minutes. I said, what are you supposed to do? He goes, I don't know. He gave me this agenda. Okay, let's do it right now. And he came in, he's going to go into that meeting with like a 4-page plan now. Is it perfect? No. Was it developed in 10 minutes? Yes. But what would he have walked in there without that? So I'm in there. So a lot of times what I'll do, I'm working with this one sales leader now, and we do 90 minutes of training, and then we do 90 minutes just free form, where I put my fractional CRO hat on. So I can say, this is what we did. How do we nail this directly into your business and help your team? So everything I do is incredibly customized to the client and their business model.
Love it. And where does that, so how does that improve the value of the company when they have this kind of system in play? So
sales go
what
up.
would they expect?
Higher sales, more efficient salespeople, which equates to higher sales. If I can give everyone on your sales team a day back a week, what is that? How much can that make you?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then you look at the cost of the training. It's like a round. Yeah. It's like the cost of the training is a rounding error in that case.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you're teaching process, you're teaching systemization, you're teaching actual improved sales opportunities, right? And ways that you can do it.
Results. Not so much opportunities lead to results. So yes, I'm going to help them build a pipeline, but I'm also going to help them build the pipeline with real deals that make sense, that are based off of people that really need help, not selling on hopium.
Hopium, that's a good one. Yes, hope is not the answer, right? It's not the plan. So I love that. Okay, so when someone comes in, and you mentioned 16 weeks, so that's 4 months. Mm-hmm. So that's a long time to be involved before you start to see results. Do you see results come in sooner?
But right. So the reason I do it, that I can do it, I've done it multiple different ways. I like it in 16 weeks because it's a lot, even an hour, it's a lot to cover. So I have one client I'm doing right now. We have a shorter time frame, and we're doing it in 8 weeks. We're doing 2 hours a day. So I just did that this morning with somebody. Well, they've got 8 prompts they need to run, and they need to try and digest all this and come back and learn. So I believe that the reason a lot of training fails is because there's no reinforcement, and because they get dumped an enormous amount of information and then nobody follows up. So I like to give you,
they don't know how to work it either.
And they don't
know how to put it into their system.
Right. So I say, here's a training. Here's the prompts. You're going to come back and you're going to send me the prompts, and we're going to work through them to see how they worked, and we're going to help you build that out. So for instance, first week is your operating system. Next week might be how to use DISC behavioral analysis. The next would be how do you build a prospecting campaign. The next would be how do you do a discovery call, all with AI prompts to walk you down that road from the first call until the sale's closed.
Wow. Okay. So you're really giving them the full system. It's not just how to make a cold call or a sales call or how to write an email. It sounds like you're putting the pieces together for them so that this can be on a wash, rinse, and repeat. And then once they have this system, everybody can go through it inside of the company. So when someone calls with a customer service problem, the customer service agent knows how to have the conversation to see if there's any other opportunities that can help.
Right. And then you build that database that it can go back to, right? Every time a customer service, you're going to take your call transcript and you're going to put it into our custom AI, whatever it is, and it's going to analyze it and come up with 3 different opportunities you can go back to and try and sell them. Or better yet, you've got this meeting. This is the business we've done. This is what's happened in their business in the last 6 months. When you talk to them, make sure you bring up these 3 things because they could be new opportunities for you.
Yeah, that's great. And all this is based on knowledge, right? Mm-hmm. The more information you have about the person you're talking to, the more trust you're building with them, the more faith they have that you know their business, because that's the biggest fear in the buyer side, is that they think, oh, I don't think this is going to work for me, right? I don't think you can do what you're saying you can do. And the more information you can provide them gives them that faith that, yeah, maybe you can do this. Maybe your company can solve this problem that's been bothering me.
That's right. And you bring up something that's super important though. And I think that it just bears, for your listeners too, it's like, I kind of go, it's what's old is new, right? So people buy, and you said something that sticks. People buy from people they trust and like. Mm-hmm. So the prospect that I talked to this morning, it was very interesting, and it really reinforced this concept. The guy had done his research on me. He heard me on a podcast. He looked at my website. He knows who I am. We talked about what he was looking to do. And after 40 minutes of talking with him, I realized that he was just trying to see if, like, he knew I was qualified to help him. He just wanted to see if there was a vibe and we got along. Like, it was almost to the end. And I was like, what do you want to do? He's like, well, I'm already sold on you. I just wanted to see if we got along. And I'm like, there's just that other thing. It's about the human connection. That's the one thing AI can't do. It can give you the data, but the human still needs to be there.
I love it. And that is so important because I promise you, listeners, you're not the only one out there selling your shiz, right? There's a lot of competition out there. And
Yes.
how do they differentiate you, right? They get you to a
Mm-hmm.
short list because you've got the competencies, but then they're looking for that connection. And
Of
that's
course.
where you've got the confidence, right? You've done your research, you're ready to go, and you can solve their problem.
And that's
So
what's
now if
magic
they
about
like
what
you,
we
you're
do.
it.
And that's the magic about it. And probably all your listeners too. Like, I mean, I started my business to help people, right? And you did too, right? And it's really cool when you can go in and impart the knowledge and the time that you've spent to figure it out and really change the business owner's life. It's a really magical thing.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Well, we can go on for days and days and days.
Gosh, I know.
I need to check and see that there's no hole in the side of my building. So I
Yes,
want to make
probably a good
sure that
idea.
that's on there too. But Greg, where can listeners find out more about you and your program and the way that they can really save hours and produce an increase in their sales?
Sure. Yeah. So the best thing, if you want to just find out about me, go to LinkedIn, Greg Grand, Greg, and for the programs to understand a little bit more about what I'm doing with teams, the AI Sales Leader, the AI Sales Leader.com, and see everything about all the programs and how they work, and got workshops and all kinds of blogs and good information. If nothing else, go check it out because there's an enormous amount of just free information on there to check out.
I love it. So like, what's some of the free things? What's your favorite free thing that you have on there?
Well, normally what I'll do with most of the people I'm talking to is I'll do like a free 30-minute just overview of where their organization is. Call me up, no cost. Just say, this is where we are. This is what we're thinking about doing with AI or not, and just having a basic exploratory call to see. Because I don't know if I can help everybody. Sometimes it might not be a fit. So where it always starts is understanding, but it's not a sales call. This is just to kind of like understand where are you with AI and then share some information. And if they want to have further discussions, that's cool. But just basically informational if you want to pick my brain for a half hour.
And listeners, you can tell right away that Greg is an easygoing kind of guy that's going to give you some straight talk, and it's just he's gonna go, hey, here's an option for you, right? And so I love that. It'll be
Straight talk is what I do. That's
time.
for sure.
Yeah.
Not a lot of fluff here.
No fluff. No fluff. I love it. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in today, listeners. I hope you found some practical ideas that you can put into your business right now to grow a more profitable and valuable business. And since sales is the blood of the business, this is what drives everything. You do not have a business unless you're able to sell. You have an expensive hobby. This is definitely the path that you want to check on. And why not use AI to streamline it, give you back some hours, and increase the probability that your sales will be higher. Go check out Greg's stuff. Definitely worth it. All right. And before you go, if you want a cleaner path to more revenue and stronger profit, go grab my free Profit Booster Growth Map. It'll quickly show you the top 3 opportunities to grow revenue and stop those profit leaks that may be holding your business back. You can go get it anytime after the show at profitbooster.biz. And if this episode gave you value, be sure to share and with somebody who other business owners who might need to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you on next week's show with more strategies to help you grow smarter and profit stronger. So until then, make your plans and profit with them. Thanks so much, Greg. This was fun.
Thank you.